So today on the Unsettled, we're going to be doing something completely different. Actually, we're going to mix this up a little bit as there's three of us, and we're going to have a freeway.
Are we?
You sound really excited. He looks really scared. He knows what he's up against. Right. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. And this episode, we're going to be discussing who killed the Masked Marvel. Now, do you know anything about the Masked Marvel?
No.
Do you?
I
You know something about the Masked Marvel?
I know he was masked.
why didn't I say that?
Okay. So yeah, we will be digging into the murder of the Masked Marvel. Also actor David Bacon. No pig jokes. Now, anyone born or alive around the 1940s will have remembered this crime fighting show. It did a reverse on who may be the alleged superhero crime fighter, not who was the villain. Right? So it was like, oh, I wonder who it could be. Was it this guy or this guy? Yeah, you with me, you get the idea.
It's like Superman with his glasses.
Yeah. So while many shows at the time similar to it would be a mystery on who killed or who the villain was, this show had the mystery on who was the actual superhero. Not the obvious one where the viewers knew who Spider-Man was or knew who Superman was and everyone was gullible in the show.
Also, it's like what's his name? Tonto, the Indian.
From
Everyone
the Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
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 Same as everyone knew who the Lone Ranger was.
Kind of.
Ho Silver. Let's carry on. So my grandmother actually watched this show because it was in the 1940s, I think. Yeah, 1940s, somewhere along those lines. I can hear the rabbiting noise of a little gremlin near me. And there we go. Right, so let's get into it. Howard Hughes was a film director who in 1942 met the struggling actor David Bacon. No bacon jokes. He signed him to a 3-year deal and brought him over to LA. He wanted David to play Billy the Kid in The Outlaw. You like your cowboy things, right?
I prefer the Magnificent Seven.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. However, David seemed too clean cut to play an outlaw. Bit of a pretty
Yeah,
right?
he would.
But he remained under contract for the Hughes studio, where many said and spoke in high regard of David, saying he was a proper gentleman, but they just had no roles for him.
Yeah.
So bear this in mind, both of you, because I'm going to ask you at the end what you think may have happened. Okay? Yeah, you're panicking now, aren't you? Don't get peaks. He don't get peaks.
He does. Oh, I know, I've got pigs in the back.
No, that's probably where all the answers are. So David came from.
You got the peaks, I got the blinders.
So David came from a very well-off family. He studied in Harvard University. So he's quite an intelligent man. Harvard is for intelligent boffins. Rich folk, not like us three.
Speak for yourself.
You come from. Actually, where do you come from?
Do you not want to know?
If you say Oxford or Cambridge, I'm walking out.
So he studied at Harvard University before wanting to become an actor. While David was in LA, he met Greta Keller, not Killer, before you say anything. And later on, in her life, she confessed she was actually a lesbian, right? And David was in fact gay. They did get married, but it was referred to as a beard marriage.
It was a Hollywood marriage.
Yeah, it's a fake marriage. Well, a real marriage, but it just hid their sexual purposes. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like she's gonna struggle with this. You feeling comfortable?
Yeah.
Do you like being part of the Unsettled? You know how many people want to be sat here right now?
You're right.
About 60 subscribers.
Ish.
The other two are me and Will. Oh,
Sad, isn't
it is a little bit. Oh, I don't even know where I want to start.
Right.
No, I just they basically maintained a happy couple marriage for the Hollywood lifestyle.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! There's more than one page up. According to Greta, David had a big thing for tall blonde guys. In early what?
Nothing.
What, like Dolph Lundgren, that kind
Like Draco Malfoy on stilts. Yeah. In early September, David finished his role as the Masked Marvel. He had recently done a 15-chapter movie at the studios. During the filming, 4 of the 5 actors who went to play the Masked Marvel had been injured during the fight scene.
Is this going to be one of those cursed movies again?
It's not a curse, no. David jokingly said that he would get injured on his way home. As it turns out, he had a lovely premonition and it was accurate. Do you know what premonition is?
Feeling psychic. I'm just taking guesses now.
Okay, at 5 PM on the 12th of September, a sedan was spotted driving all over the place and swerving around.
I'm going to get hit by that car, you watch.
What?
I can see where your pen ran out.
I write a lot for this. Okay, I'll write a lot for this. Okay, you can. Okay, yeah. He narrowly missed a telephone pole before crashing into a bean field. Of all the things you want to crash into. Eventually, a man appeared from the field. The wreckage clearly visible all over. Yeah, all over. And he was wearing white swimming trunks. The man that got out of the car.
Did he get out, man?
The Masked Marvel. No.
I'm shitting the mask.
He got out. He began stumbling around the fields covered in blood until he collapsed. Wayne Powell rushed to the aid of the speeding car and to the wounded man. "Please help me, please," was the man's last words. Last words to Wayne before bleeding to death. So he actually bled to death. Okay? Okay? But there was no real wreckage to the car, so keep this in mind. Okay? Yeah? The man was indeed David Bacon. While you may think David was a part of a major traffic incident in his car where his brakes did not work correctly, you are far from wrong. There was nothing wrong with the car. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, the medical...
I've seen this movie.
What happened? Right, the medical examiner
I don't know,
found...
they took a wrong turn.
Just the wrong one. The medical examiner found a single knife wound to his back just below your last rib that had punctured the lower portion of his heart. Okay, the medical examiner said he would have survived for 20 minutes or less. Okay. I like how this has now turned into a mystery and you're going to have no idea what the fuck is going on. You're doing really well.
Thanks.
I'm pleased.
Just listening at the moment.
Yeah, okay. Okay. His body was clean of bruises or marks that may have suggested a struggle. It was obvious this was no accident. David was indeed murdered. Upon hearing David had been murdered, Greta, his wife, was pregnant with their child, even though he was dead.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right.
Plot twist.
She suffered a miscarriage at the time of his death.
Convenient.
Well, no, it's a shocking event, Will. I mean, have some remorse, dear boy.
Sorry.
Right. Greta said and told
Is
investigators...
this chair? I swear. You sit in this chair.
You
just
become a
have no
sarcastic...
filter.
You literally become a sarcastic cunt.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
Not the use of this EUNT? What's happening again?
The signs for the gods.
The gods are not happy. Right. Greta said and told investigators David went to the beach. She wanted to go with him but had been rather sick due to the pregnancy. David didn't take his 3 dogs with him, she explained. He always took the dogs, so I assume he probably met someone or some of his guy friends. What?
When was this? Before or after he died?
This was...
He went to the beach after he died.
His spirit went to the beach.
I'm not going to take the dogs, can't hold the lead.
The dogs just keep barking at me. I'm telling them to leave. They're not coming. So basically, his wife Greta is...
How long was this before then? Was this like the week before?
Oh, now I'm
on the
confused.
day, yeah, because you confused me.
So investigators, on the day of his death, they went to Greta because they said, "Hey, look, your husband's dead."
Okay, so it was
The
on
day,
that day.
yeah.
He's
Okay.
gone, he's
On the
gone to
day.
the beach. He's
On
told,
that
he's
day,
lied.
yes.
So he's lied to her. Told her he's gone to the beach.
He did go to the beach.
Well, he went to
That's
work.
why he was wearing white swimming trunks. No, he didn't go to work. He went to work, then was going to the beach afterwards. Please don't confuse anyone apart from yourself.
Okay.
Right. But he usually takes his dogs with him. So she explained he always took the dogs. So I assume he probably met someone or some of his guy friends. You know, blowjob central. What are you eating? Right. Where was I? Witnesses came forward saying they saw the car and David with two men inside. This witness thought David was naked driving around. This is why it caught her attention, because all he's wearing is white swimming trunks.
Okay,
So she saw
that
a
makes
naked
sense.
man driving around. Attention averted.
I
Got it.
can imagine it would.
Right. Robbery was ruled out as David's jewellery and money remained.
Okay.
Okay, so there was no... I mean, he's an actor. He's got money.
Yeah.
He would have loads of money, and yet it remained in the car. And he had suffered one single knife wound
To the
to the
back.
lower part of his heart. Okay?
From the back.
Possibly.
Possibly.
I reckon someone's
Okay.
hiding in his car.
Right.
I always check the back seats, girls or boys.
Unless you like the back seat. Then happily live in it. A deeper search of the car found no fingerprints or possibly a knife, so the murderer took the blade with them. A wool sweater was found in the car. Some hairs was found and they was blonde, but no real evidence at all.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
It would be.
Investigators tried to figure out who and how. The knife used was around 6 inches long, but due to the size it wouldn't have gone that deep, so they reckoned, David was stabbed before he got into the car. Okay. They theorised a left-handed, short-statured man was the killer due to the stabbing and how it was done. Is it possible? So like I said, is it possible, as David was leaning into the car, he was stabbed, then he attempted to drive himself to hospital. This is why the car was speeding all over the place.
Yeah,
20
you
minutes.
would explain
20 minutes of trying to drive the car, crashing into a wheat field. Okay.
Your loss of.
Yeah? You with me?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So there is that 20-minute window.
Mm.
Okay. Or was the killer in the car as it drove erratically before heading into the field? From there he was stabbed and the killer got away. He could have been in the back seat like what you said.
Yeah, well, I have a fear of that. And underneath the car.
Yeah, because as you're driving your car and you go over
No.
speed bumps, there's going to be people that go, I'm here.
I mean, as you're approaching the vehicle.
And it takes them how long to
No,
get out
because
from
they're not.
under-
Hang on.
No, because they grab you know what they do is they grab your ankle,
And pull you under.
slice it,
Slice your Achilles tendon.
yeah, and then you
So
can
then the leg-
Oh.
yeah, and then
How many horror films have you watched?
Not many. That's just what goes on in my mind. I have to be careful.
She's unsettling.
No, this is unsettled.
Yeah. It was revealed David rented out a small nearby cottage and police found a camera in the back seat. They found one photo on the film and it showed David naked and posing. Is it possible the killer took the picture then killed him afterwards?
No, because he wasn't fully naked.
He did go to the beach. He did meet up with people. That's what we're trying to assume here, right? Rumours went around heavily that David and Hughes, the chap who got him to LA, were secret lovers and that Howard was blackmailing David and threatened to publish a book and pictures of their acts together. Greta agreed that they was lovers, but there was no blackmail.
That she knew.
That she knew of, yeah.
Mm.
While two other suspects was thought up and questioned, it seemed both was clear and had no real idea on David's death. It's kind of sad in the sense that David's big break came from his death. Many remember his death and not his screen role for The Masked Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Over 7 decades have passed and the Masked Marvel's killer has never been found, and it is still unsettled. So what do you two think? Do you think he was murdered by possibly someone that wanted him? Do you think the killer was in the car? Do you think...
I still think they were in the back seat.
So it's plausible David went to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
met some guys. He was seen with 2 gentlemen in the car.
Mhm.
He was gay. That explains the naked photo that someone had taken of him.
What about the blonde hair? Oh, he fancied a guy with blonde hair. He was into blondes.
Yes.
Oh no. He cheated.
Don't trust blonde.
I'm naturally blonde.
No, you're not. Your eyebrows tell me different. It's really nothing. So, Will, what do you think? It's unsettled. The driving erratically through the streets and then
That
crashing.
would explain the blood, like the blood loss and stuff.
Obviously, we know he got stabbed in the lower part of his heart with a knife,
Yeah.
a 6-inch blade. But how? Who? When?
What if it's from the front? You would see visible signs.
Yeah, it actually came from the back.
So it was obviously from the back.
Yeah.
So that would mean that he would either be in the car or approached him as he was getting in the car.
So we could have had a lovely little date with a blonde-haired gentleman.
But being a
Maybe David refused this man, and this man was like, no. Maybe this man was obsessed with him, being the fact he was on TV.
maybe it was a fan.
Yeah, Psycho fan.
See, I've had a few of them.
Yeah.
I have. I told you about a few of them. Will knows I've had a few weird Psycho fans.
I'm your Psycho fan.
Will's my Psycho fan too.
Oh, you are.
No, I'm just a fan.
Check out my OnlyFans. It's these 2.
2 only.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God! She did. Wow. Check out my OnlyFans. It's these 2, and she's like, wait a minute. You never said you. Oh.
You don't have an OnlyFans, but oh wait.
So it's possible he got stabbed in the back.
I reckon it is. Yeah, basically.
Like, my thought process.
It could be a fan. It could be a robbery gone wrong. But
if it was a robbery, all that money would have been taken. All these
not
jewelry.
necessarily. Not if he's already got into the car and drove off by this point.
Yeah, throw himself out the car. Like.
Or throw himself into the car.
She has no idea, mate. None.
Okay,
She's not on this planet at this precise point. She vibrates on a different
I'll walk you through my theory.
Go on.
So he's had a nice time at the beach,
Yeah.
hanging out with his guy mates, and he's on his way back. They've had an argument or whatever, so everyone stayed at the beach.
Okay.
He's gone back, got into the car. As he's getting into the car, fans approached him, seen him with other men,
Yeah.
maybe.
Stabbed him.
Yeah. Enraged, stabbed him. He's pushed them away, got into the car, drove off, and.
Go on, your turn. No, you got to do the hand move.
So quiet and so delicate.
She is.
Or precision.
She is. Hey! You said you're so quiet and delicate.
Oh, yeah.
See, even your stomach's making noises. Right, so what's your thoughts? Come on.
Well, I think he was in the back seat. I think, yeah, it was probably a Psycho fan and saw him on the beach with all these guys and was like, you little bitch, and then came after him.
So you don't think any blackmail could have been happened, or?
No, I think it was a Psycho fan.
He was employed for the company for like 4 years, and they never found a role for him apart from the Masked Marvel.
No, but they've done that to a lot of actors. Like you
sign
sign
the
the
contract.
actor just for the name.
Just to keep him without going with another company.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my thought process. He met up with a lot of men. A lot of blonde-haired tall men, as that seemed to be his cliche. He also had a wife that somehow got miraculously pregnant despite being a lesbian, so she's still like the meat, mate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She likes a bit of the, you know.
Well, no, but
Maybe one night they both
maybe they
got
just
a bit
kept up
frisky.
appearances. You know what I mean?
They don't have to prove it that much to Hollywood that they're.
One thing left or another. You know, you had a few beers and you're actually sitting down and chatting.
Yeah.
And one
Sometimes
thing.
it just slips right in by accident.
We don't need to talk about your past sexual encounters. Oh my god, that really hurt. Anyway.
Right
So-
in the back, just under the heart.
Yeah, just like that. It was a woman. It was a brunette. Don't trust them. But no, okay. So she's pregnant at home. He goes to the beach. He's like, okay, do you want to come with? I mean, she was going to go with him.
Okay.
So that could have possibly stopped him from getting killed off.
Could have been.
Could have been. Or
She set him up so she could be.
and
Free.
she got some money because they're married.
True.
What do you reckon? Or was it the fact that he met this gentleman, realised he wasn't really his type, and he said, sorry, you're not my type. And as he got in the car, after they had a nice little meal, like, he's going to be a nice gentleman, don't forget. So, you know, he hung out with him, they probably had a few drinks, and he said, so, do you want to fuck me in the arse? And David Bacon went, no, not really. And as he got back in,
I'm a bit torn now.
With the butter knife.
moved the button knife.
The butter knife.
Because he was easily spreadable. He looks so confused.
I don't belong here.
Don't belong on the earth, to be honest. Should have had the reset button to you. Sorry, that was really mean. Hold the crow. It always makes you people feel better when they hold the crow.
I feel worse.
Why?
I feel more depressed.
Now she knows how I feel. So, what are your thoughts? These two don't really have a clue, but you seem torn though. You may think it was the wife set him up.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel really ill. I can't meet you at the beach.
And he didn't take the dogs.
Is this what your main focus is? The dogs.
Yeah, because obviously she didn't want the dogs to
He
die.
always takes.
Something would come out.
He always takes the dogs.
Yeah, obviously she didn't want to take
But
the
this
dogs.
time he didn't. So what are we thinking?
It was her.
I think he was meeting someone.
You think it was
But
a woman?
I still think that he got cornered by a psychopath.
She set him up.
You're a woman. Would a woman do that?
She set him up. Not me, no.
No, but would a woman do that?
Probably, I don't know, there's some psychos out there. Anyway, she set him up, right?
Yeah.
Do you know many?
I know quite a few.
She set him up with a psycho fan and was like, kill him. So he doesn't fancy you.
And then he took the money. And then she took the money.
Yeah.
And he'd recently just bought a new hideaway cottage.
Yeah. That's her cottage now.
Quite well.
But how would she know where he was?
Well, they always used to go to.
Beach.
Yeah, they always.
Yeah, no,
they always go
he
to the
didn't
beach.
take the dogs this time.
They always go to the beach together.
But he didn't take the dogs this time.
That makes no difference.
They'd still go to the
But
same
no,
spot.
if
They
you
go
were
to the same
setting
spot.
but if you're setting someone up to be killed.
Well, she could have asked him, "What beach are you going to, David Bacon?"
Yeah, but
Oh, I'm going to go to this one where I
Yes, I'm not
always go.
taking the dogs. I'm meeting May Levitt.
Oh yeah, that man that I hooked you up with. Yeah? What are your thoughts? Go on, we'll close it out. Say one word and then you can say the rest. Go on.
Oh, what do I like to know?
So yeah, we are the unsettled.
Go on.
Like, share, subscribe.
And comment down below if you have a theory.
But the Masked Marvel remains unsettled.
And masked.
Unmasked. Oh look, he has a bit of pun in there, doesn't he? You're having a lovely day, aren't you?
I am actually.